Hello.
Hello. So we're here on a beautiful, clear, blue-skied, crisp winter's morning, walking across the fields on our normal walk. So it's beautifully warm above knee level and quite cold below knee level. Would you say that's right?
I would, yeah. Just slightly off topic. You started both of your first sentences there with "so," and I do that quite a lot, I've noticed. I know some people, they find it bad English.
So, do they?
Have you ever considered that? I try not to, but it is part of the way that I speak.
Well,
anyway, so what we're up to.
Let's talk about
what we're up to at the moment. Today, John especially, is content. So we're editing our next ebook. It takes a lot of time, but part of the challenge of writing content is thinking about your audience and who you're writing for. And we've created our personas, and we should talk about them some more actually, because they're. So, do you want to just explain what a persona is?
our persona is an outline of the. Well, we're just going around a difficult bit. Let's just get around this bit.
It's lovely and like frosty and crunchy underfoot.
So persona is a make-up or description of a classic typical person that you are wanting to face in terms of marketing or sales or attraction or getting attention from. So
Can I just flip that? That was very much about them giving to us. We're looking at it as the opposite, is who are the people that we can help? Who are the types of people that we're already helping? Yes. And what do they need so that we can help them more? So then our content is based around what tips, ideas, if we're going to write a blog, what problem statement might they have that our blog could help fix?
Yes, so ultimately the goods, product, services that a company provides is lined up based on the persona, not what the company wants to sell.
Exactly. So if we release an ebook, it's not about, hey everyone, let's tempt you into our fold with our ebook. It's genuinely about, please get it, feel free. We've put loads of crown jewels in there.
Because we thought about you.
Yeah, we want to help you.
We think this is what you need based on the fact that we've carefully researched your persona.
Yeah. So we've got 4/5 personas. When I say /5, because one of them we're still working on. But the first persona that we created is Gertrude. Can you remember why we called her Gertrude?
Because Gertrude gets it.
Gertrude gets it. So
yes.
Gertrude is someone who is probably an L&D manager. She might do a bit of training, might run a training team, might think a little bit about training, or a lot about training strategy, but ultimately doesn't always have the ability to make the big decisions on where budget is spent. But already Gertrude gets that virtual training is something that they should be doing, or they're having a go.
Right.
And so she's bought into virtual training, but part of her challenge is getting the rest of the business to buy into it.
So Gertrude, in our minds, is a person who, as an L&D professional, is also tasked with the big picture of L&D performance within the organisation. In other words, they map out from requirements, research internally done, what the company needs for the coming year, then puts budget to it, etc., and then needs other people to sign that off. That's the level.
You sounded quite formal.
Well, no, but it is quite formal in organisations. You need to be quite clear sometimes.
Right.
But they're not the person signing off the budget, but they're the person saying, well, this is what we recommend, this is what the research tells us we need.
Exactly.
Here's the big picture, this is the plan, sign it off for me, and then I'll get it organised through trainers and meeting rooms and blah, 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 blah.
So our job isn't to convince Gertrude that virtual training is the way to go. Our job is to help Gertrude implement.
Because Gertrude is a right-on professional. They're right in it. They're online, they're on social, they know the future, they're well-educated people, often with a very good degree.
They're probably going to all the conferences
or online conferences.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of LinkedIn. You know, they're just on it. They're with it. They know the future. They're looking for ways to improve because these people often are carers. They want to nurture the organisation. They want to grow the organisation, and therefore they want to be at the forefront of what's going on in terms of L&D.
So we love Gertrude.
We do.
Then our next persona that we developed was Timmy, and Timmy then developed into two personas. So Timmy's more of your is a trainer. Timmy the trainer. So Timmy might be an instructional designer, face-to-face deliverer, and is personally thinking about, do you know what? I need to maybe up my game with virtual training. I either need to get some tips and ideas to improve the virtual training that I deliver, get more confidence perhaps, or I need to actually have some upskilling or train the trainer myself. And what we realised is that Timmy's live in organisations and also outside of organisations.
So just before we go there, Timmy also stretches across from that person that works in a contact centre who's seen to be a really keen, good, hard-working member of the contact team, and is elevated out of that to train others. So Timmy might be at a starting point of, I've never really trained others before, but I know my stuff, but now my job is to train others, right through to a 20, 30-year learning professional. He's been all over the world, done everything with all the global brands. He's very sophisticated in terms of their knowledge of training, learning transfer, blah, 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 but who now knows they've got to get online or go virtual.
Yeah. So the Timmy in is somebody that, and actually a Timmy in could also be a bit of a Gertrude as well, or a Gertrude could be a bit of a Timmy in, but Timmy in works for an organisation. It might be big, small, but they're employed by an organisation, whereas Timmy out is either like a self-employed trainer, or they might be part of a small consultancy, freelance professional, and so their needs are quite different to Gertrude's needs because they want practical insight on how to help them with their design and delivery of virtual training. And they're often the ones that want to know all of our little tips and tricks on how do I get more interaction, how do we deal with the tech, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but Timmy in does that as well. But
yeah,
maybe
so Timmy in and Timmy out I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry, Timmy's. Yeah,
Timmy's.
Yeah. Right, okay. Yeah, I agree with you.
What's that over there then?
They want to consume the world. That's a walker. Like a dog.
So next, number 4 is Harriet. Harriet, the HR leader. So she might be a director or head of HR, but also we've worked out that Harriet could also be head of global L&D or L&D directors. Ultimately, probably Gertrude's boss. So they do have sign-off usually. They do have
budgetary control.
Is that what we call it?
We do.
They do have budgetary control. They're more likely to be thinking about what's the strategy of the business and how do we, as a HR or learning function, help implement that. And we incorporated Harriet into our personas because we've got quite a few of them.
We have. Harriet's also have another foot in another door or another room.
I was going to swap sides because my hand's freezing. Hang on. Go on, what door she got a foot in?
Well, the future of the organisation. So they're not just doing the year, they're at the boardroom table often doing the 3 and 5 year plan as well.
Yeah.
So they have a broader view, often a more global view,
Yes.
rather than I've just got to spend a budget in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
It's not just that, but that's my task, is to distribute the budget and get the training delivered in the next 12 months. This persona is perhaps more global in their thinking and more forward in their thinking.
Yeah, so how do we help Harriet? What can we do that helps Harriet deliver what she needs to deliver? Well, I would say part of it is about helping her understand how to scale, and part of it is thinking across regions. And so I just got distracted by some suspicious looking people in the distance, but I think I know what it is. So going over to you, how are we think about the Harriets that we're working with. How are we helping them deliver?
Like you say, scale, about the bigger picture of using technology, of matching that to people's working patterns, because an awful lot more people are working from home.
And our Harriets are more likely to say, look,
they're more strategic.
Yeah, they're more likely to say, right, we know what you can deliver for us here in the UK.
Yeah.
How do we replicate that in India? How do we replicate that in...
Yeah. How do I take £1 million out of my L&D budget and put it in from face-to-face into...
we can help with
online,
that.
virtual. Well, yeah, of course, but then
Yeah.
they're not just thinking about the delivery of the training, they're thinking about how you structure people's work patterns.
Yeah.
How you use technology to enable people to work at home, security of data and stuff like that.
And also they're talking to us around, not that they want us to come in and deliver all of this stuff, where maybe give them advice on how they can do it for themselves. Maybe with a bit of help. Who they're talking to, just going to hit pause.
Nosy neighbour time.
Okay. Yeah, just have a good look and we'll talk about it later. So the final persona, just so we start to hit hard ground, to talk about is Frank the FD, Frank the Finance Director. So we've not really had much interaction with this persona yet, and we're still developing him out, but we know that with some of the real life Franks that we've talked to, they're not even aware that virtual training exists.
Or how costs often distributed in terms of training spend.
That's the biggie. So as we know, that the budgets for travel can often be a little confusing, and how much is spent having people travel to training and staying in hotels doesn't often fall under the training budget.
Correct.
And sometimes it's difficult for the FD to really be... Depends on how they structure their business, because some are really clear, with others it's really difficult to know where is that spend, how much is that spend, and so on. So but we'll keep you posted. Frank. Yeah, we'll maybe have a different walkie-talkie in a few weeks when we've got our head around Frank a little bit more, but I think in the meantime we need to
say
sign
goodbye.
out. Let me just get us there. Okay, so see ya. Bye.
Bye.